Tim Russell, the rum maker behind Maggie's Farm Rum. How are you doing?
I'm pretty well.
We are actually here in the distillery for Maggie's Farm Rum. Is that what we would call the space?
This is our distillery.
So it's actually happening right now behind us, the distilling
It's literally
process.
happening behind you right now.
So what is in this tank that's over my left shoulder here?
That is the result of a sugar fermentation. So what I'm doing right now is distilling the alcohol out of that fermentation.
And then what's happening over here in this one?
Nothing much right now. This is our new still. That's the old guy. We got that one in about a year and a half ago. 2 years ago, actually. It's 100 gallons. Served us very well to this point. It'll continue serving us, but as business picks up, we added a little bit more capacity. So the new one's about 250 gallons. This came in 2 weeks ago.
Now, when I hear the term still, I think of like some old moonshine kettle in the backwoods, but these things are beautiful. I mean, they really are.
Yeah, they're actually hand-hammered copper made in Spain.
Wow.
The company still does kind of the old world pot still style.
Now, how did you get into the rum business?
I've been homebrewing beer for about 8 years. Kind of thought about doing the brewery thing so are a lot of other people. Didn't want to get really too caught up in that. Plus, I don't think I was really that great of a brewer. Right about the same time, I saw some law changes coming down the pipeline. So it was about 4 years ago that actually allowed the direct sales of distilled spirits in Pennsylvania to the customer without having to go through the state store. So that law change, we can sell it by the bottle or by the glass to the public. So with that, we don't. It makes it a lot more viable to actually operate a business, especially from a startup standpoint.
And Maggie's Farm Rum is the first rum distillery in Pennsylvania since Prohibition?
Commercially available craft rum since Prohibition in Pennsylvania, at least. In Western Pennsylvania, maybe one of the first ever. I say that only because colonial rum was a big thing and along the port cities of the East Coast, so rum was being made in Philadelphia just because it was a port, so there was access to molasses. Nobody was trucking molasses over the Alleghenies to make rum in Western PA for any reason. This is more of a rye whiskey country, really, so it's definitely could be one of the first rums made in Western PA for sure.
Now, I really never knew it could just be made anywhere, because you think of rum, you sort of think of tropics and things like that. Why hasn't anybody else done it in Pennsylvania?
I don't know. When I got started, I think vodka and whiskey were the only things being made in Pennsylvania at the time, and some gin. I kind of looked at it as something that was just a little bit underappreciated, obviously not represented. So it made a little more sense. And then also from a capital startup, making rum equipment-wise, since it doesn't require a starch conversion in the mash. So it was a little bit easier to start out with the rum also.
So is that what made you a good rum maker as opposed to a lousy beer maker?
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
So what really, as far as taste goes, do you feel distinguishes a quality rum from just a regular run-of-the-mill rum?
It shouldn't be overly sweet.
Now, see, I think a lot of people think that it ought to be.
Right. That's one of the things that are underappreciated about rum. People associate it with one of two things: it's either a bad college experience or some really sweet, sugary drink with fruit and flowers and things like that coming out of it. It's really not the case. A rum cocktail can be as dry as any whiskey or gin cocktail. Honestly, I think rum is probably one of the most versatile spirits for whether just sipping neat or making a cocktail from.
So if I've got a blind taste test, rum's lined up, how am I going to find Maggie's? What really sets it apart from other rums out there?
One difference with our rums, it's made from raw sugar. I would say 90% of rums are molasses-based. Now, there's a legal definition of rum, in that it's got to be made from sugarcane or a derivative of sugarcane. So 90% are molasses-based. We make ours from raw sugar, so it's 100% turbinado sugar. So that does give it a little bit of a different character. It's a little bit more grassy, earthy. We also pot distill it, which gives it a more body, more flavor. So it's kind of the opposite of a neutral Puerto Rican or Cuban style rum.
So are those ingredients difficult to come by here in Pittsburgh? Or are they
it's funny. Some people will ask, there's obviously a big local movement here, and someone will ask if I actually use local sugarcane.
Yeah, who's growing sugar?
No, it doesn't really grow north of South Carolina.
I didn't think so.
If I could use it, I would, but yeah, it's one thing we really can't do locally.
Well, we'll forgive you that. think a couple of awards came your way recently.
Yeah, this year we're actually the most awarded rum distillery in the country.
The most awarded rum distillery in the country.
And that's through 4 different international and national competitions. So there was the San Francisco World Spirits Competition, the New York International Spirits Competition, and then the 2 big American craft competitions are the American Craft Spirits Association and the American Distilling Institute. So we have a dozen medals through those 4 competitions.
Wow. I just realized that might be a dream job for me, to be a judge for something like that. Now, do you see yourself growing nationally in the future?
Yeah, I see it. I don't know how fast, how soon. I'm treading very lightly right now. Still very, very small, relatively speaking, compared to a lot of the other distilleries in the country, even the other craft distilleries. I can barely keep up with the Pittsburgh market at this point. Hopefully the new still behind me will help out a lot and open things up.
Pittsburgh is hungry for rum.
Apparently.
Well, you're in a good place then. Now, we've got 2 examples here. This is spiced rum.
Yes.
Excellent. That's a variety that you do. And then we also have Queen's Share.
Queen's Share, yeah.
That's a neat bottle. It's almost like a little potion.
Yeah, we had the bottles imported from Italy.
Beautiful. Very beautiful. These would make a great gift, too.
They do.
Now, what do you suggest pairing? Here we are in the middle of the summer, pairing with rum. What's a good summer rum cocktail that you'd recommend?
Our white rum, I think, makes a really killer daiquiri, which is as simple as it gets as far as a cocktail. I mean, it's part of the holy trinity of rum cocktails, which is lime, sugar, and rum.
That's the holy trinity.
And that's the cocktail itself.
Praise be. I'll salute that. So to sample Maggie's Farm Rum, we can come by during the weekends, pull a seat up at the bar, and try some of the selections.
We're open Wednesday through Sunday for bottle sales and tastings, so you can come in and sample anything. And then Friday evening and all day Saturday, we feature about 8 or 9 different craft cocktails with our rums.
Great. I have 40% alcohol. I think we can get that up to maybe 50, 55. Anybody ever tell you look like Brad Pitt?
I've gotten that once or twice.
Can you remember your first rum experience?
I'm sure there was one back in high school, but there was a gin experience, there was a tequila experience too, so not specifically.
You know, I have always loved a dark and stormy. I think that is my favorite. That is rum, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So even places like Newfoundland have rum history because they had traded salt cod for molasses back in the 1700s.
I don't know who got the worst end of that deal. What about, like, my basement? Could I make rum in my basement?
You theoretically could make rum in your basement.
Yeah, I'm just talking theoretically,
right.
You know?